From swinging so hard the ball barely moved while a cloud of dust exploded everywhere, to tossing the ball hoping for a perfect shot, only for it to roll just near their feet. These are the ultimate zero IQ golf moments. Standing on the 18th green with a chance to win the US Open, Dustin Johnson had a 12-footer for eagle. He missed, but still had a 4-footer to force a playoff. That one missed too. In seconds, his shot at the trophy was gone, and Jordan Spieth walked away the champion.
Well, now there's work.
Not an easy one.
Jordan Spieth has won the US Open.
From missed putts under pressure to a shot so wild it had fans holding their breath. TC Chen was leading the US Open when disaster struck on the 5th hole of the final round. Trying to chip from the rough, his club hit the ball twice in one swing. The rare double hit cost him dearly, and his lead vanished. Andy North went on to take the title.
On this chip shot, TC Chen's club inadvertently but clearly hits his ball twice during the final round of the 1985 US Open.
From a painful double hit to one of the most bizarre bunker moments you'll ever see. All he needed was a simple 2-foot putt to seal the US Open, and he missed. The crowd went silent. Goosen regrouped and eventually won in a playoff the next day, but the miss is still one of the most shocking short putt blunders in major championship history.
Was not able to do that. Didn't learn anything from Coles there.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, Jesus.
That's got to be the shortest missed putt I've ever seen.
That's the shortest missed putt in the history of golfing. In the history.
Holding a 3-shot lead on the 18th tee, Garrigus just needed to play it safe. Instead, he yanked his drive deep into trouble, then compounded the mistake with more errant shots. The collapse forced a playoff, which he lost, turning what should have been a comfortable win into a nightmare finish.
Look how far left he's aiming now.
Oh, look.
From a Sunday collapse to a moment where pressure turned a simple shot into chaos. Now, if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about Winged Foot 2006. Leading by 1, Mickelson pulled driver and sliced it into a hospitality tent. Then he tried a hero shot, straight into a tree. From there, the collapse was complete. Double bogey, no US Open trophy, and one of golf's most infamous choke moments.
Slice that I use at like 13 at Augusta and some other holes and overcut that. I had a good lie. I had to hit a big carving slice around the tree. If I hit it in the gallery and it doesn't cut, I'm fine. I can still make bogey, maybe even par. And I ended up hitting the tree. I thought I just put the 3 iron on the green, or if not, right around it, get up and down.
It's the third.
Moving forward.
Get him! He's hit it very high, but way left. He's going to try to get it up and in from, well, it's got the front left bunker.
Fried egg in there. It is just implanted in that bunker, and Ogilvy has been watching all of it.
This is a nightmare right here.
I don't know what happened on those bunkers. I've never seen that much sand all week. I still am in shock that I did that. I just can't believe that I did that. I am such an idiot.
And yet, someone else in that same tournament also found trouble on 18. Tied for the lead, Montgomery hit a perfect drive, then pulled his approach into thick rough. From there, the short game vanished. He walked off with a double bogey, dropping from possible champion to heartbreaking loss in minutes.
Boy, sitting in the middle, or a perfect spot in the fairway, looking at a birdie, making 6. Yows.
But Monty wasn't the only one whose short game betrayed him. On the 72nd hole, Johnson grounded his club in what looked like a patch of dirt. The problem? It was actually a bunker, by local rule. The 2-stroke penalty knocked him out of a playoff, leaving him stunned and the golf world buzzing.
Johnson again playing his second shot. Meeting a par for the win. It puts this to the left and finds the deep cabbage. Johnson knocked it to 11 feet and had this for his par. It was not to be, and a sigh of relief as Bubba Watson and Martin Keimer look on. Johnson knocks in his par, and it looks like a three-way playoff with Bubba Watson, Martin Keimer, and Dustin Johnson. But as he walked off the green, he was informed by a PGA Tour official that there may have been an infraction. Take a closer look at his second shot from the right side of the 18th. He grounded his club in the bunker. He did not sign his scorecard yet, so he has taken a two-stroke penalty.
From a rules nightmare, let's move to a pure swing disaster. Rory was running away with the lead, but on one hole, he hooked his tee shot so far left it nearly left the property. It didn't cost him the win, he still dominated, but it's a reminder that even champions can hit one shocker.
Johnson again playing his second shot, meeting a par.
And sometimes, the big mistakes happen right when you can't afford them. Day's club caught the turf before the ball on a simple fairway shot. The result? A topped ball that rolled only a few yards. For a player known for power and precision, it was a moment he'd rather forget.
Knocks in his par, and it looks like a three-way playoff with Bubba Watson, Martin Keimer, and Dustin Johnson. But as he walked off the green, he was in...
If that's a small miss-hit, the next one is a huge missed chance. Els had a short birdie putt to keep his US Open hopes alive, and it lipped out in slow motion. The crowd groaned, and so did Els. Those are the kinds of misses that keep you awake at night.
Oh, Ernie. Oh, Ernie.
my.
Phil, yeah, that's a bit... Wow.
That's one of the weirdest results
Tommy
we've ever
Spencer
seen.
in our tower will tell us the only player ever to miss a green with a putter, I don't think there's anybody. Has anybody tried, apart from, no, not hit the green with a putter? He actually did not hit it. Guys have hit it on the green, it's gone off the other side. But I bet that's the first guy.
Now we go from bad putting luck to a complete collapse. Needing birdie to force a playoff, Phil's drive clipped a tree and fell short. His second shot came up short too, and the chance was gone. Another US Open heartbreak for Mickelson. This time in a year, he led after 3 rounds.
Bones is telling me will not go as far off the pine straw as it does off the fairway.
So you have a much easier up and down if I go past behind. Do it, okay. And I think it's more than enough to take care of any carry.
It certainly is more enough to take care of the front, yes.
He's going for it, Peter.
He's going for it. He was asking how far past the hole before he would come back, so this might be the tournament. Clean contact. And an unbelievable shot by Mickelson. Absolutely incredible.
But if you think that's painful, wait until you see what happens when frustration completely takes over. On the 18th green, Danny Lee had a straightforward par putt, and then everything went wrong. He missed once, then again, and before the crowd knew it, he'd 6-putted. Furious, he slammed his putter into his bag and withdrew from the tournament right after. It was pure golfing rage on display.
Spring, we can reveal exactly what took place. This was his first putt from just about 4 feet or so, guys.
That's for par.
Yeah, that would have seen him.
That's for par.
We'll have a third round 73.
Yeah, that's 1. This is 2. Just a little bit of a pull. All right, happens to the best of us.
Expecting to tap.
This is where things go completely haywire, and the brain just goes, you know, I've had enough. I've had enough of this U.S. Open stuff. I've had enough of this golf course. That's a shame. It is. It's not a good look, but hey, I live in a glass house. We've all been there. I've never quite done that. But David, there is something I have done. I've never done this more than a couple times. I've never done this more than 10, 12, I've never times, right? Oh yeah, here we go.
Wow.
From a meltdown with the putter to one of the most legendary collapses in golf history, Van de Velde stepped onto the 18th tee of the Open needing just a double bogey to win. Instead, he found water, rough, and a bunker before carding a triple bogey. It forced a playoff, which he lost. The image of him standing in the Barry Burn is burned into golf history.
That's a word.
Oh, they go slow.
Little hop.
Oh, was that it?
All back.
It's to tell, drink, talk,
What? Yes. I think you should be put out of it. I found supporting us to die.
After deciding against playing from the water, Van de Velde dropped into more trouble. The French assisted Bonnie Prince Charlie. Van de Velde was now making his own contribution to the task.
And if that surprised you, the next one will make you cover your eyes. Garcia misjudged the wind on a tee shot, sending it straight into the water. Then, under pressure, he hit his next one, into the water again. 2 mistakes, 1 hole, and his US Open hopes sunk.
Every time, the story of my life.
From water trouble, let's move to one of the wildest putting disasters ever. On a tricky green, Na just couldn't get the ball in the hole. Miss after miss piled up, and before it was over, he'd taken 6 putts. The crowd gasped, and Na laughed it off, but deep down, it had to sting.
16, Kevin Na. Oh, how about that shot? How about that shot?
Kurt.
He was stuck on the side of that mound, Justin, and that was sort of Phil Mickelson-like.
That is what I'm here for right there.
Oh my gosh, was that any good?
That ball traveled about 100 yards in the air, but it only went about 20.
Oh,
that was crazy.
Good job on our cameraman following this thing, and there's no way he expected this. Look at that. He had to go way high to pick it up. What a shot by Kevin Na.
And while that's painful, the next one might be even harder to watch. In a tense Sunday battle, Rory 3-putted from barely inside 20 feet. The mistake killed his momentum and opened the door for others. In majors, you just can't give away shots like that.
For McIlroy coming down the stretch.
Now for a moment where one bad swing cost everything. Tied for the lead, Furyk stepped to the 18th tee and pushed his drive far right into deep trouble. From there, his chance at the trophy was gone. A single swing at the worst possible time.
El Open en Olympic fue todo lo que se esperaba. Emoción, drama.
Oh, no.
Un duck hook de esos rápidos. Y ahora...
Wow. McDowell.
From a heartbreaking tee shot to a moment that ended in a real-life injury scare. During the Ryder Cup in Paris, Koepka's tee shot on the par 4 6th hole veered left into the crowd. It struck a woman in the eye, causing a serious injury and partial vision loss. Koepka was visibly shaken and checked on her immediately, but the accident overshadowed the golf for the rest of the day.
Here's the shot here, and you can see him pointing, clutching, and yelling. And man, this hit somebody in the crowd very seriously. This woman now apparently hit her in the eye, and she has reportedly lost sight in her eye. That is a very serious, and apparently that shook Brooks Koepka up for the rest of that round. So he must have known how serious it was when he went over to check on her.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm amazed when we're out on the road at the PGA Tour events, how liberal and how flexible the spectators are with these things, hanging in, looking over. Yes, they're the best players in the world, but
from an unfortunate accident to one of the strangest shot decisions you'll ever see. Faced with an impossible lie near the green, Mickelson tried something only he would think of. A reverse flop shot, swinging backwards to send the ball over his own head. It didn't work. The ball barely moved, leaving commentators stunned and fans wondering what they'd just seen.
Well, he's got a lot of nerve and a lot of imagination. Green is behind him. But that doesn't stop Phil. That's why he's so exciting to watch. Talent and imagination.
And if you think that's wild, wait until you see the most cringeworthy moment of them all. And if you think that's wild, wait until you see the most jaw-dropping miss in modern golf history. In a moment that stunned fans, Mickelson stood over what looked like a tap-in, just a few inches from the hole. And then, he missed. The crowd gasped, the cameras zoomed in, and Phil gave that "did that just happen?" smile. It was a rare mental lapse from one of golf's greats, and a brutal reminder that nothing in this game is guaranteed.
Here at the third, and
from 1 foot.
Taps it in for par, and you will not believe that.
The 20 worst shots in US Open history and beyond. Golf is a game of inches, and sometimes, those inches feel like miles. 2004 at Oakland Hills, the Tiger Phil disaster nobody can forget. In 2004, Team USA was desperate after 3 Ryder Cup losses. Captain Hal Sutton made a bold move, pairing Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, hoping their star power would turn things around.
The nervousness is good. It heightens your concentration, heightens your awareness, but it's how you handle it. Every time I play, I'm nervous. If I'm not nervous, I don't care.
It started off tense. Tiger and Phil barely talked, no smiles, no rhythm. They looked out of sync and played like it. Both Friday matches ended in losses. Fans were left wondering how 2 of golf's biggest names could fall so flat together.
And what to them seemed an increasingly narrow target.
It's just a northern tolerance to them in this.
Stop later. Amazing. From the split second of contact, the ball of Woods went right, and way right. Proof positive, if any were needed, that no one's immune to those infamous first tee jitters.
Years later, Mickelson blamed the captain for poor planning. Sutton fired back, accusing Phil of being unprepared. The tension never faded, but it sparked real change and a new team-first mindset. 1983, Larry Nelson destroys Europe's new era. 1979 was supposed to be the start of something new. For the first time, Europe, not just Great Britain, joined the Ryder Cup. Everyone thought this would finally make it competitive again. Spoiler alert, it didn't.
And the crowd is welcoming him as if he is a winner. 1 stroke ahead, the 35-year-old.
Larry Nelson quietly dominated in 1979, going a perfect 5-0. 4 of those wins came against a rookie, Seve Ballesteros. Yes, the future European legend got steamrolled in his Ryder Cup debut.
Second shot, 18th hole. And what a beautiful shot.
Leading the Open after 36 holes and not playing really well the last 2 rounds, it still gave me the knowledge that I could compete on those types of venues.
America dominated, and Larry Nelson became the first player in the modern Ryder Cup to win every single match. That record stood untouched until 2018, when Francesco Molinari finally matched it. Back in 1979, though, it was a total beatdown and proved that Europe's new era was off to a very rough start. But Europe wasn't going to stay quiet forever. In this next clip, they finally break America's winning streak. 1985 at the Belfry, Sam Torrance ends the streak with 1 clutch putt. America was used to winning. A lot. Before 1985, the US had won 12 straight Ryder Cups, if you count 1969's tie as a win. Europe just couldn't catch a break. The Belfry changed everything. Fueled by 1983's close call, Europe came in ready. Sam Torrance drained a 22-foot putt, the crowd exploded, and the streak ended. That was the turning point for Europe, but America had its revenge too. In this next clip, it's Rory versus Reed in an epic showdown. 2016 at Hazeltine National, Rory versus Reed, the showdown on the 8th hole. Hazeltine's 8th hole in 2016 was pure chaos. Rory and Reed traded massive putts, firing up the crowd. It felt like a heavyweight fight, electric, emotional, and unforgettable Ryder Cup drama. First, Rory drained a monster putt from way downtown, cupping his hand to his ear, egging on the American crowd, saying, "I can't hear you." You could feel the drama. Then, Reed answered right back, sinking his own huge putt. Team USA fed off the energy and held strong, avoiding another Medina collapse. The Rory versus Reed battle lit a fire. It marked a turning point. America's comeback had arrived, and they were ready to stay on top. In this next clip, we go back to 1969 and one of golf's classiest moments. 1969 at Royal Birkdale, the concession that shook the golf world. Not all Ryder Cup drama ends in cheers. In 1969, Jack Nicklaus, playing his first Ryder Cup, conceded Tony Jacklin's final putt. The match ended in a tie, a legendary act of sportsmanship.
He might go into history as losing the Ryder Cup. Well done indeed. There won't be a single man here who wanted him to miss it. And it's a hop.
Nicklaus's teammates were stunned, but Jack stood by it. He didn't want to miss tap-in to decide the Ryder Cup. That moment became the concession, one of the classiest moves in sports history. But not every rivalry ended with handshakes. In this next clip, Faldo and Azinger took tension to a new level. Number 7, 1993 at the Belfry, Nick Faldo versus Paul Azinger, rivalry at its peak. If you love intense rivalries, this one delivered. Faldo and Azinger's tension started in 1987 at the British Open, and by the 1993 Ryder Cup at the Belfry, it finally exploded. Sunday singles. Faldo hit a hole-in-one to go one up, but Azinger answered with a birdie to tie it. On the 18th, he sank a clutch putt to have the match. Ryder Cup pride ran deep, and neither player backed down. Number 8, 1947 at Portland Golf Club, how one man saved the Ryder Cup. After World War II, the Ryder Cup was in serious trouble. Europe was devastated. England was rebuilding after bombings. People wondered, would the Ryder Cup even come back? Source enter Robert Hudson, a grocery store executive from Oregon. This guy wasn't a golfer, wasn't a pro, just a fan who loved the game. He stepped up, paid for everything, flights, hotels, meals, for both the US and British teams to travel to Portland Golf Club. Without him, the Ryder Cup could have vanished forever. Thanks to Hudson, the matches returned in 1947, bringing hope and tradition back to life after years of war. America won, but the real victory was saving the Ryder Cup itself. Number 9, 1987 at Muirfield Village, Olazabal dances, Europe makes history. For decades, Americans ruled the Ryder Cup, especially on home soil. But 1987 changed everything. Team Europe, captained by Tony Jacklin, stormed to a huge 10-1-2-5-1-2 lead at Jack Nicklaus's own course, Muirfield Village. Imagine that, beating Jack on his turf. And this clip shows his all joy. Sev and Olazabal went 3-1, fueled by passion and grit. Olazabal's victory dance sent a clear message. Europe had arrived. That moment shifted Ryder Cup history, and even bigger shocks followed. Number 10, 1999 at Brookline. Justin Leonard's putt ignites the American miracle. At Brookline, 1999. Team USA trailed 10-6 on Sunday. Europe looked set, but the US caught fire. Win after win, the comeback grew. The pressure spiked. Then came the moment that changed everything.
Had a birdie putt to etch his name into Ryder Cup history.
This looks good. Oh my!
Justin Leonard made a long putt on the 17th hole against Olazabal. Fans entered the green before the hole was finished. Olazabal still had a putt, but the match ended in a US win. Number 11, 2012 at Medina. Justin Rose sparks Europe's revenge. Fast forward 13 years, and the tables turned. Team Europe was now the one trailing 10-6 heading into Sunday. Medina, Chicago, home crowd roaring, and Europe was almost counted out.
possibly two of the finest putts Justin Rose has ever hit in his life. A fantastic victory over Phil Mickelson.
At Medina, Europe came back strong on Sunday. The key moment was on the 17th hole, when Justin Rose made a crucial putt against Phil Mickelson. Europe continued their run and won the Ryder Cup. Number 12, 1977 at Royal Lytham in St. Anne's, Jack Nicklaus changes the game. In 1977, after another easy US win, Jack Nicklaus told Lord Derby the Ryder Cup needed change. Even he was bored. That talk helped spark the modern competitive Ryder Cup era.
His approach with a 7-iron was perfect. He got the right club. He judged the distance to perfection. It was a birdie chance. Nicklaus, meanwhile, played a remarkable recovery from the rough, but still had this roller coaster 40-footer for a birdie. Oh, wonderful by Nicklaus. A remarkable birdie 3. Over to you, Tom.
Jack Nicklaus pushed to expand the Ryder Cup by including all of Europe. In 1979, Team Europe was born. His push helped save the event and reshape golf history. And coming up, some final moments that completely flipped Ryder Cup history on its head. 2008 at Valhalla. You call that a normal stance? Kim vs. Garcia gets heated. Ryder Cups are famous for their raw emotion, but sometimes things get just a little too spicy. Valhalla, 2008, Sunday singles. Anthony Kim, the young, fiery American, faced Sergio Garcia, one of Europe's most seasoned players. The vibe? Tense from the start.
Turnberry, playing host to the championship for the first time in 1977, produced one of the most dramatic opens in history. Dubbed the duel in the sun, both Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus battled over the first 3 rounds to post identical scores of 68, 70 and 65. On the final day, Nicklaus edged ahead, but at the 15th he could only make par. Tom Watson produced this.
On the 6th hole, Sergio's drive landed near stone steps. He requested relief due to interference with his stance. Anthony Kim questioned the legitimacy of the stance, creating on-course tension. Sergio got his drop, but the tension was real. Kim looked calm, but you could see the fire in his eyes. Just like that, the Ryder Cup turned fierce.
Well done, Anthony Kim, playing his first Ryder Cup, and quite a success for him, Anthony Kim.
1969 at Royal Birkdale, the concession. Again, but not everyone applauded. Nicklaus's 1969 concession is legendary, but not everyone approved. Captain Sam Snead criticized it, sparking debate that still lasts today. That moment helped turn the Ryder Cup into golf's ultimate drama.
I got very greedy. It was too far by to say good, and there was a pregnant silence everywhere. And like the great player he is, he rolled his in, and prior to picking his ball out, he picked my coin up and conceded and said that I don't believe you would have missed that putt, but I would never give you the opportunity.
But even his own captain, Sam Snead, wasn't impressed. He said you never give away a point when you can win. The moment sparked debate. Was it class or weakness? Either way, it reshaped the Ryder Cup. And first, we start with number 10. Phil Mickelson's heartbreaking collapse at the 2006 US Open. It's the final hole of the 2006 US Open at Winged Foot. Phil Mickelson stands on the 18th tee with a one-shot lead. One safe par, and he wins the one major that's always slipped away. The crowd knows it. He knows it.
All right, tee shot for Mickelson. This better be a forward. Doesn't like this one.
Going way left, way left. Oh, what a bounce out into the rough to the right. But I don't think that'll leave him much.
Off of the hospitality tent. I'll tell you what, right now Ben Hogan is officially rolled over in his grave.
But instead of playing it safe with an iron or fairway wood, Mickelson pulls out the driver. A bold move, one that immediately backfires. His tee shot hooks wildly left, hits a tree, and ends up in deep rough.
Oh no, it's caught an elm tree solid. And I believe it's gone backwards. And he still has got to be in a very bad situation, blocked out.
Still, possible to recover, but his second shot hits another tree. His third? A short miss into the greenside bunker.
It's the third. Forward.
Get him! He's going to way left. He's going to try to get it up and in from, well, it's got...
From there, the collapse is complete. He fails to get up and down and walks away with a double bogey.
Jeff Ogilvy survives.
Just like that, Jeff Ogilvy wins by 1 stroke. Mickelson's shot at history is gone. Afterward, standing in front of reporters, he delivers the now famous line, "I am such an idiot." It wasn't scripted. It didn't need to be. It summed up everything: confusion, frustration, and regret. This wasn't just another loss. This was a defining collapse. One hole, one decision, one swing that turned a near-certain victory into another heartbreak in a major. A moment that left fans stunned and Mickelson devastated. And while he's gone on to win other big tournaments, that day at Winged Foot remains one of the most painful chapters in his career. And if you think this was bad, wait until you see what happened at number 9. Matthew Wolff's rookie nightmare at the 2020 US Open. Matthew Wolff was just 21 years old, leading the 2020 US Open at Pebble Beach with 2 holes to play. A rookie in his first major contention, he had a 2-shot lead standing on the 17th green. All he needed was to hold steady.
Takes the club back way in the outside.
Way left. Boy, on the wind moving left.
That was all hands and club face.
Oh boy. This should catch the slope here, which will kill some of its momentum, loop it back down to the right.
I don't know how you could do much better than that. That's
You
an
can't.
amazing
That's
shot.
about as good as he could possibly do.
Fabulous shot. And that'll be interesting to see if there's any furniture between him and the hole. Just Hayes might have held it up.
Then came the first mistake, a 3-putt on 17. Costly, but not fatal. He still held a chance to close the door.
Oh, this should be beautiful. Perfect.
Yep. Scoots it.
That looks good.
Okay.
You know, it's funny, they both said that if they're going to win, they need to hit more fairways, but I don't know why they think that.
On 18, needing par to stay in contention, Wolff had a short putt, just 3 feet to save par. He stepped up, took his stroke, and missed. A 3-footer. Gone.
This hit much, much higher and left of the hole. Good looking shot.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we've seen a lot of guys
have to make yourself better. All right, Wolff birdie putt on the way. Up the hill, but a fantastic start for this group, although DeChambeau has...
In an instant, his lead disappeared. From solo first to a tie for 4th, with no playoff and no shot at the title. The crowd's reaction said it all. Stunned silence. What had looked like a dream finish suddenly turned into a harsh lesson. It wasn't a massive blow-up over several holes. It was just 2 mistakes. But at that level, that's all it takes. A 3-putt and a short miss. The kind of errors you expect from an amateur, not from a pro leading the US Open. Wolff walked off the green without a trophy, and with a look of disbelief etched across his face. The raw pain of what could have been was visible for everyone to see. It wasn't just a miss, it was a moment that will follow him for the rest of his career. Ready for number 8? Trust me, it only gets worse. Dustin Johnson's 32nd collapse at the 2015 US Open. Dustin Johnson was right there. After a week of grinding through the brutal setup at Chambers Bay, he'd played himself into position to win his first major championship. He had the power, he had the poise, and on the 72nd hole, he had the perfect opportunity, a 12-foot eagle putt to win the US Open. His tee shot was massive. His approach, even better. It set him up with a clean look at history. Make the eagle, and he walks off a champion. Miss it in two-putt? He still forces a playoff with Jordan Spieth. The stakes couldn't have been clearer. But this is where the story takes a brutal turn. Johnson rolled the eagle putt just past the hole. Not ideal, but manageable.
Jordan Spieth.
He now faced a 4-footer to tie. One simple putt, and somehow he missed it. Not a lip out, not a bad break, just a straight-up miss. In a span of less than a minute, DJ went from major winner to runner-up. The crowd didn't even know how to react. He looked stunned. So did everyone else. For a player known for his calm demeanor, that moment revealed just how cruel golf can be. And speaking of slow-burning collapses, number 7 will have you holding your breath the whole way through. Dustin Johnson's rulebook nightmare at the 2010 PGA Championship. Dustin Johnson was steps away from a playoff at the 2010 PGA Championship at Whistling Straits. After grinding through 4 tough rounds, he stood on the 18th hole needing par to stay tied for the lead. He missed the fairway right, into an area trampled by spectators, an ugly patch of sandy dirt, littered with footprints. But DJ didn't think much of it. To him, it looked like a worn-out waste area, not a bunker.
Johnson again playing his second shot at the 18th, needing a par for the win. He pulls this to the left and finds the deep cabbage.
So, like any player would, he grounded his club behind the ball. He didn't know it at the time, but that move would cost him everything.
Johnson knocked it to 11 feet and had this for his par. It was not to be, and a sigh of relief as Bubba Watson and Martin Keimer look on. Johnson knocks in his...
After he finished the hole, thinking he was headed to a playoff, tournament officials pulled him aside. That patch of sand? Officially a bunker. And grounding your club in a bunker? Against the rules. It was printed clearly on a local rules sheet. Every bit of sand on the course, even outside the ropes, counted as a hazard. The penalty...
But as he walked off the green, he was informed by a PGA Tour official that there may have been an infraction. Take a closer look at his second shot from the right side of the 18th. He grounded his club in the bunker. He did not sign a scorecard yet, so he has taken a 2-stroke penalty and will not be in the playoff.
The penalty, 2 strokes. In an instant, Johnson's par turned into a double bogey. From tied for the lead to tied for 5th. No playoff, no shot at the title. What made it worse was how avoidable it was. A simple glance at the rule sheet could have saved his shot at a major. But who reads those, right? This wasn't a swing mistake. It wasn't a mental collapse. It was a technicality, one that rewrote the ending of DJ's major dream in the harshest way possible. And speaking of gut punch finishes, the next collapse is one that came quietly, but hit just as hard. Adam Scott's nightmare in slow motion at the 2012 Open Championship. Adam Scott had it in the bag. With 4 holes to go at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's in the 2012 Open Championship, he held a commanding 4-shot lead. It wasn't just a cushion, it was the kind of lead that felt untouchable. Fans were already picturing the claret jug in his hands. But then, everything changed. Not with a single disastrous hole, but with a quiet unraveling, one bogey at a time.
This is the putt of the championship, Peter.
Yeah, if ever you wanted to hold one, just to keep a 1-shot lead.
Oh boy. Well, that all happened amazing. He birdies the 14th, fist pump, had 4-shot lead, and he's now just bogeyed the next 3.
On the 15th, a missed fairway and a missed par putt. Bogey. No panic yet. Still up by 3.
Somehow he's got to gather himself. Bogey, 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 and a tee shot like this off the left. Bunkers everywhere.
He's watching it very carefully. It's heading a little right, and it's in. It's in one of the bunkers. Up again.
On the 16th, another mistake, another bogey. The lead shrinks, pressure builds.
Oh, looks like it. It's trying. It's trying. It's a super goal.
By 17, the rhythm is gone. Confidence is slipping. He walks off with a third straight bogey. And now, for the first time all day, he's behind.
Bottom. Breathing. This is it. This to tie. Nope. And there it is. Adam Scott. Ernie else wins. Congratulations, Ernie. And Adam Scott's going to be scarred for life.
By the time Scott steps onto the 18th tee, the lead he held just minutes ago has vanished. He needs a par to force a playoff. He hits a decent drive. Then comes the approach, left of the green. A tricky up and down awaits. His par putt slides by. Another bogey.
Absolutely shattered.
The prize presentation will take place in approximately 5 minutes.
Just like that, Ernie Els, who had already posted his score, becomes champion golfer of the year. Scott's collapse wasn't loud or messy. It was slow, silent, and excruciating. One hole at a time, the trophy slipped through his fingers. It wasn't a disaster, it was a controlled fall, and that might be the worst kind of all. Still, even that can't compare to number 5, when the pressure of chasing Tiger proved too much to handle. Thomas Bjorn's 2003 Open collapse at Royal St. George's. Thomas Bjorn was 3 holes away from winning the Open Championship. After 68 holes of poised, controlled golf, he held a 3-shot lead with just 4 to play at Royal St. George's. The claret jug was in sight. History was knocking. But golf has a cruel way of humbling even the most composed players.
6-iron for Bjorn.
And I'm screaming no when it's 50 yards off the tee, like, you know what's coming.
Oh, hang on. Gone.
The disaster began at the par 3 16th. Bjorn found a greenside bunker, a tough but manageable spot for a pro. Then came the moment that still haunts him. It took him 3 shots to escape. His third attempt barely made it out. The lead was gone. The panic had started.
3 demons in a you know, those things are always going to come at you because it's a moment.
He bogeyed 17. The pressure didn't just chip away, it crushed him. What had once looked like a steady march to victory turned into a desperate scramble just to hang on. On the 18th, needing a birdie to force a playoff, Bjorn couldn't pull off the miracle. Ben Curtis, an unheralded 26-year-old ranked 396th in the world, became the champion golfer of the year. Bjorn, the seasoned pro, was left staring into the distance. A meltdown not built on wild shots or huge numbers, but on the slow, excruciating unraveling of nerves at the worst possible moment. It was a lesson in how fragile control can be in this game, and how one bunker can bury not just a ball, but a dream. And speaking of pressure, number 4 might be the most iconic crumble under the spotlight in Masters history. Greg Norman's unforgettable collapse at the 1996 Masters. If there's one name that golf fans associate with heartbreak, it's Greg Norman. And no collapse tells that story better than what happened on Sunday at Augusta in 1996. Norman started the final round of the Masters with a 6-shot lead. 6 strokes. That's not a lead. It's a safety net. At least it should have been. For 3 days, he had been in complete control, playing bold, confident golf. Fans were already imagining him slipping into the green jacket. It felt like destiny.
And that's a costly one. He'll lead by 4, but increase it to 5 and come into 8, he would...
But as the final round unfolded, that confidence started to crack. A missed fairway here, a bad approach there. Suddenly, the putt stopped dropping.
Oh, there it is, Kenny. That's what you have to guard against. That is, you just can't do that. You have to be long Faldo was long, way long, but he was right. He played the right shot. Now you got a big problem.
He was making all of these the first 3 days. Not now. This is only...
The lead that once looked untouchable began to shrink, slowly at first, then rapidly. Nick Faldo, playing in the same group, didn't have to do anything spectacular. He just stayed steady and watched Norman unravel. By the time they reached Amen Corner, Norman looked like a different player. Gone was the swagger, replaced by hesitation and frustration. He carded a final round 78-6 over par. Not only did he lose his 6-shot lead, he lost by 5 strokes, a complete 11-shot swing in 1 round. It wasn't just a choke, it became the standard for chokes in golf history. The collapse of collapses, one that still haunts highlight reels, and Norman himself, decades later. But heartbreak doesn't discriminate by experience. Number 3 shows how even underdogs can feel the weight of history. Mito Pereira's dream turns to disaster at the 2022 PGA Championship. Mito Pereira wasn't supposed to be there. Ranked 100th in the world, playing in just his second major championship ever, the Chilean underdog had stunned everyone by leading the PGA Championship going into the final round. And somehow, he still held that lead, by 1 shot, as he stood on the 18th tee on Sunday, 1 hole away from history. He didn't need a birdie, he didn't need to be flashy, just a simple par, and he'd become the first Chilean to ever win a major. But that's when golf, in all its quiet cruelty, showed its teeth.
Ready to play, we all good? Yeah, let me just use it again. Yeah, it's left to right with some help. Yeah, all checked out, mate. 204 total.
He's dropped this ball a little more back up the fairway. It's actually 193 to the hole.
Playing his 3rd.
5 iron. It's left and not cutting.
Oh, dear.
Pereira stepped up with a driver, aggressive, but understandable. He swung and the ball took off like it had a mind of its own. A wild slice. It didn't find the fairway. It didn't even land in a bunker. It found a tiny creek, one that most players probably didn't even know existed. From there, it unraveled quickly. He scrambled to recover but couldn't save it. He made double bogey. Just like that, he fell from first place to tied for 3rd. No playoff, no trophy. Just a stunned expression and one heartbreaking quote. "I just wanted to put it in play. I guess I aimed too far right." It was raw, honest, and gut-wrenching to watch. Now imagine being just 21 years old, standing on golf's biggest stage. That's what makes number 2 so painful. Rory McIlroy's meltdown at the 2011 Masters. At just 21 years old, Rory McIlroy was on the verge of superstardom. With a 4-shot lead heading into the final round at Augusta, it looked like we were witnessing the beginning of a dynasty. For 3 days, Rory had played flawless golf, smooth swing, sharp focus, ice in his veins. Sunday was supposed to be a coronation.
And now Rory, look out.
Is a lot of bones over there?
What?
Instead, it became a nightmare. Things started to slip slowly. A missed par here, a shaky swing there. But when he stepped onto the 10th tee, it all came apart. His drive hooked hard left, so far offline, it landed near the cabins left of the fairway. That's right, the cabins. The ones TV cameras never even show. That's how far off course he was.
Find a way to get it back on the map. Wow. Oh, look at this running down it.
Spectacular. Back to 10.
And the 3rd. Better be careful
He's
left
going
again.
left again. Oh my goodness, he's
this one.
From there, the unraveling accelerated. By the time he reached the iconic 13th hole, his ball was floating in Ray's Creek. The kid who'd looked invincible just hours earlier now looked lost, shaken, out of answers. He shot a final round 80, the worst score of the day. Not just losing the lead, but free-falling down the leaderboard.
He's got to get up and over this little tree, and that hit it.
11 to really put you back on the upward spiral.
His fifth shot finally finds the surface, salvages 6. The misery is over.
That Sunday didn't just cost Rory the green jacket, it forced a hard reset. He later admitted it was one of the toughest days of his career. The pressure didn't just get to him, it swallowed him whole. Jordan Spieth's collapse. That shook Augusta in 2016. Jordan Spieth was untouchable. At just 22 years old, he had already won 2 majors and was the defending Masters champion. On Sunday afternoon in 2016, he stood on the 10th tee at Augusta with a 5-shot lead, 5 strokes ahead with just 9 holes to play. It looked like history was in the making. Golf's next dynasty was about to be crowned.
Jordan Spieth trying for his second Masters win in a row.
And then, the collapse began. A bogey on the 10th. Fine, it happens. Another bogey at 11. Okay, nerves maybe, but the lead was still intact. But what happened next? No one saw coming.
And then the 12th hole. Right into Ray's Creek. He's getting up. He swings again.
Oh my goodness.
His third shot at redemption.
Unbelievable.
At the infamous 12th hole, the par 3 over Ray's Creek, Spieth stepped up and fired. The ball splashed. Then came the drop, and that one went in the water too. A second shot. Same result. The Golden Boy suddenly looked shaken. By the time he finished the hole, he had carded a quadruple bogey, a 7 on a par 3. In just under 30 minutes, he went from leading by 5 to trailing by 3. The collapse wasn't just shocking, it was historic. The Masters, once all but secured, slipped away. Danny Willett walked away with the green jacket, while Spieth was left stunned, head down, trying to process what just happened. And if you thought these were the most shocking meltdowns golf has ever seen, think again, because there's a whole other level of chaos, heartbreak, and disbelief waiting for you. Click on the next video and get ready to witness the moments that redefined what a real golf collapse looks like.